And now we come to a further source of homonyms, which differs essentially from all the cases we have already discussed. Two or more homonyms can originate from different meanings of the same word when, for some reason, the semantic structure of the word breaks into several parts. And this type of formation of homonyms is called split polysemy. So from what has been said about polysemantic words, it should have become clear that the semantic structure of the polysemantic word presents a system, yes, within which all its constituent meanings are held together by some logical associations. So in most cases, the function of arrangement and the unity is determined by one of the meanings. For example, now let us remember the word fire, yes? The main meaning of this word, flame, held kind of dominance over the rest of other meanings, yes, as we remember. So if this meaning happens to disappear from the word semantic structure, then associations between the rest of the meanings may be lost, may be severed, and the semantic structure loses its unity and falls into two or more parts, which then become accepted as independent lexical units. Now let us consider the history of the three homonyms. Board. So board as a long and thin piece of timber, board as daily means, especially as provided for pay, for example, room and board. Board as an official group of persons who direct or supervise some activity, for example, a board of directors. So it is clear that the meanings of these three words are in no way associated with one another. Yet most larger dictionaries still enter the other meaning, table. So it developed from the meaning a piece of timber by transference based on contiguity. So association of an object and the material from which it is made, yes, if you remember. The meanings meals and an official group of persons developed from the meaning table, also by transference based on contiguity. So meals are easily associated with a table on which they are served, yes, and an official group of people in authority are also likely to discuss their business around the table. Nowadays, however, the item of furniture on which meals are served and around which boards of directors meet is no longer denoted by the word board. Yes, it is replaced by French Norman borrowing table. And board in its meaning, though still registered in some dictionaries, can very well be marked as archaic, as it is no longer used in common speech. With the intrusion of the borrowed table, the word board actually lost its corresponding meaning. But it was just through that meaning, that there was kind of link, which served as a link, yes, to hold together the rest of constituent parts of the word semantic structure. And with its diminished role as an element of communication, the role in the semantic structure was also weakened. And the speakers almost forgot that board had ever been associated with any item of furniture. Nor could they associate the concepts of meals or of a responsible committee with a long, thin piece of timber, which is the oldest meaning of board, yes. Consequently, the semantic structure of the board was split into three units. So a long, thin piece of timber, daily meals provided for pay, yes, room and board is an official group of persons who direct or supervise some activity. Somewhat different case of split polysemy may be illustrated by the following homonyms. Spring as the act of springing, a leap, spring, a place where a stream of water comes out of the earth, and spring as a season of the year. So historically, all three nouns originate from the same verb with the meaning of to jump, to limp. So Old English springen. So that the meaning of the first homonym is the oldest, and the meanings of the second and the third homonyms were originally based on metaphor. At the head of a stream, the water sometimes leaps out of the earth, so that metaphorically such a place could well be described as a leap. Yes. On the other hand, the season of the year following winter could be poetically defined as a leap from the darkness and cold into sunlight and life. Such metaphors are typical of Old English and Middle English semantic transferences, but not so characteristic of modern mental or linguistic processes. The poetic associations that lay in the basis of the semantic shifts described above have long since been forgotten, and an attempt to re-establish the lost links may well seem somehow far-fetched. It is just the near impossibility of establishing such links that seem to support the claim for homonymy and not for polysemy with these three words. So it should be stressed, however, that split polysemy as a source of homonyms is not accepted by some scholars. And it is really difficult sometimes to decide whether a certain word has or has not been subjected to the split of the semantic structure, and whether we're dealing with different meanings of the same word or with homonyms. For the criteria are subjective and imprecise somehow, yes. So the imprecision is recorded in the data of different dictionaries, which often contradict each other on this very issue. So that word is represented as two homonyms in Mueller's dictionary, as three homonyms in Erakin's, and as one and the same word in Hornby's dictionary. Spring also receives different treatment. So Mueller's and Hornby's dictionaries acknowledge only two homonyms. So a season of year, and the second meaning, the act of springing, and the place where a stream of water comes up out of the earth. Whereas Erakin's dictionary presents the three homonyms as given above. So the act of springing, a leap, spring as a place where a stream of water comes out of the earth, and spring as a season of the year.